You know the feeling. Your muscles ache, your eyes are burning, and your body is practically begging for sleep. But the moment your head hits the pillow and the lights go out, a switch flips. Suddenly, your brain decides it's the perfect time to review every awkward conversation you've had since 2014. It's incredibly frustrating to lie there, exhausted but wide awake. Your brain is actually executing a highly predictable biological shift right at the exact moment you attempt to rest. Think about what happens when you get into bed. You turn off the TV, put away your phone, and silence the room. Psychologists call this perceptual load reduction. During the day, you are constantly bombarded with external input that competes for your attention. When that input drops to zero, your internal signals, your thoughts, don't actually multiply. They just sound incredibly loud because there is nothing left to drown them out. That sudden, booming volume of internal chatter tricks your nervous system. It interprets the intense mental noise as a sign of danger, triggering a state of hyperarousal where you feel completely wired despite being physically spent. Your mind isn't malfunctioning. The quiet of the bedroom has simply stripped away your daytime distractions, forcing you to look at a massive backlog of unfiled data from your day. During the day, your brain is built to respond, manage, and produce. It is focused entirely on external problem solving. Notice how cortisol, your alertness hormone, runs high alongside a stream of external sensory input, keeping you focused outward. As evening sets in, both lines plummet. Cortisol drops, and you turn off sensory input by entering a dark room, leaving a void of internal focus. Nature hates a vacuum, so your brain activates the default mode network. This is the neural circuitry that takes over when you aren't actively doing a specific task. The external work is done. Your brain is now required to step away from logical output and start integrating the emotional and abstract events of your day. To figure out exactly what the brain focuses on in the dark, we look to the Zeigarnik effect. This is a psychological principle dictating that human memory retains incomplete or interrupted tasks far more aggressively than things we've actually finished. Think of every unsaid comment or half-finished email as a background process running on your mental operating system, quietly consuming memory. Once daytime distractions are gone, your brain grabs those hidden processes and drags them straight to the front of your attention. Your mind is actually trying to protect you. It runs a mandatory late-night review session to close those open loops, so your mental hard drive doesn't crash the next morning. Much of this late-night review is entirely normal. Replaying a conversation, planning tomorrow's commute, it's just standard file sorting. That changes when thoughts become catastrophic. If your brain aggressively scans for future threats, spinning endless what-if scenarios, it triggers your fight-or-flight response. True hyperarousal rarely waits for the dark. If you experience severe disruptive anxiety during the day, your nighttime struggles are likely an extension of a clinical pattern that needs dedicated support. For most of us, recognizing that midnight chatter as basic organizational processing takes the teeth out of it. You aren't under attack. Your brain is just cleaning house, and realizing that immediately lowers the perceived threat. You've probably tried telling yourself to just stop thinking and go to sleep. Your brain interprets that command as a new problem it has to solve, kicking off even more mental activity. The actual fix starts hours before bedtime. You have to give your brain dedicated time to process data during the day. Taking 5 minutes of sitting quietly without a phone or a task lets your mind sort through the morning's chaos. You can also close loops in real time. Simply acknowledging and labeling a frustrating moment right when it happens prevents it from getting buried and resurfacing at 2 in the morning. If a random task pops into your head, write it down immediately. Putting it on paper physically offloads the requirement for your brain to hold it in active memory. By dealing with these open loops while the sun is still up, you starve your nighttime brain. When your head hits the pillow, there is simply nothing left to review. Even with a lighter load, you need an explicit way to tell your brain the workday is over. You need a cognitive closing ritual. Writing a highly specific to-do list for tomorrow is one of the fastest ways to accelerate sleep. Unlike open-ended journaling, mapping out exact tasks for the next day signals to your brain that the future is already handled. Follow that up by mentally acknowledging just one thing you fully completed that day. This actively satisfies the Zeigarnik effect, replacing an open loop with a concrete sense of closure. Finally, when a stray worry inevitably pops up, Give yourself permission to delay the response. Just tell yourself, this thought can wait. Intentionally forcing your mental tabs to quit removes the pressure to solve everything in the dark. Your brain finally clocks out and turns your bed back into exactly what it's supposed to be, a place to rest.